If you've been following the DC Rebirth storyline, then at the beginning of DC Rebirth, Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns, they had a massive epic battle that I'm going to link down below, but in it, Sinestro was seemingly killed. Well, in the latest Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern story arc, Fractured, which we may or may not have already done by the time you're watching this video, Sinestro was revealed to be around. Well, how is Sinestro going to get his powers back? That is going to be revealed today in Superman. Yes! Shouts a kid as he is standing in front of an old abandoned building, the LexCorp Gardens. We see in his phone that he's playing a game. One where you get to see the creatures on the screen in the real world. Playing his game, he crawls through a broken window calling out for any potential serial killers, and he wanders through the hallways until he finds a small glowing yellow creature. He asks if it's from the New 52 Zoo Crew reboot line. It of course says nothing as he reaches down to pick it up, realizing that it's not a creature in the game but a real life creature. You look afraid. My name is Z. I'll take care of you. And then we pan outside of the building and we hear him scream from the inside. 2 weeks pass and Superman is worried flying over Metropolis. The kids have gone missing on a regular basis and it all began with Z. Superman is concerned every night as he goes home, hoping that John will not be the one missing next. He's been searching for these children and he's found nothing. He hasn't even found a clue. And every night he tries to give the parents hope as he travels to the missing children wall where they're waiting at. He lands telling them that he's there to check on them and they ask if there's any news. He sadly tells them that they have nothing, which means they'll need to triple their efforts. Clark Kent of the Daily Planet should have contacted all of you to create profile pieces on each of you. And the parents tell him that none of that matters. What they know is that there will be another parent here tomorrow with another missing child. Elsewhere, a voice can be heard by a little girl. Wake up, you sleepyhead. Wake up or you'll be dead. She turns back to see Z standing at the edge of the bed. Who are you? If you don't leave, I'm going to scream. Oh, I hope you do. Then you can see what I do to the parents of the kids who scream. Go away! You're scaring me! Oh, I know I am. That's the point, silly. And back with Superman, he follows up on a clue that Jimmy got. He found a strange hue on the ground with his photos, and Superman uses his vision to see that it's actually a weird form of yellow radiation. Right away, he has an idea of what this means, except the Green Lanterns are off-world right now. If you're curious about what's going on with Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz, check out our Green Lantern Training Day video. He begins to fly off following the odd yellow energy footprints until he finds Z. He hovers over him, seeing Z leading the little girl off. He's shocked to have found the first missing child. Your parents are very worried. Come with me so that I can help you. The yellow energy begins to flow from his eyes as he informs Superman, I don't need your help. He then blasts Superman into a nearby wall. I just watch you! Superman shatters the walls next to him. Zachary, I'm not sure what's possessing you, but you need to cool down. Superman then hits him with his freeze breath. Thinking that he's won, he walks forward, but the same creepy voice speaks to him from behind. Superman, scared yet? And the little girl blasts Superman. The girl turns to Z, passing the power back. He is stronger than the others. This won't be easy. They walk over to him as he's trying to get up from the blast. Stop. Let me help you. Love, hope, compassion. You have to let in the fear. Come play with us. Be one of us. Z blasts Superman again, and Superman wakes up a bit later, alone, with the police checking on him. As he soars into the sky, he begins to look for the color of fear, the Yellow Lantern's energy, and boom! He flies off to the ground to the house where it's at. Walking in the door, he begins to tear it off as the voice continues. Superman, you can hear them by now, can't you? Whimpering, crying for their mommies, praying for their fathers to rescue them. No one can save them, Superman. Not even you. I can feel your heart beating faster than a speeding bullet. The fear is growing in your stomach, more powerful than anything I've felt before. I can smell the terror bubbling up in your soul. So sweet, so delicious. He walks into the room to see all of the missing children suspended by the energy of the Yellow Lanterns and Z hovering in the middle. I'm so very hungry, Superman, and you finally look good enough to eat. Superman looks at him with his glowing yellow eyes and his sharp fangs. I was wrong before. You aren't Sinestro. You're worse. Sinestro was a tiny flame, and I am the shining yellow sun. Come out of that boy and face me, you coward. The being of fear, the entity of the Yellow Lantern, some would say the god of fear, exits the boy taking his true form, and he now stands before Superman. He is Parallax! He hits Superman with his tentacles, and Superman returns the blow with a blast of his heat vision before Parallax can grab him. You're afraid, Kryptonian, for your son, for these children. So much fear. Parallax leaps into Superman's mouth, diving into the mind of the Man of Steel, until Superman grabs him, throwing him out. I'm not afraid of you, Parallax. Fear can always be overcome. So Parallax retaliates by hurting the children. In the blackest day, in the brightest night, beware your fears made into light. Those who try to stop what's right burn like my power, Parallax's might. Superman then offers himself to Parallax. Take me, leave these children. So Parallax dives into the body of Superman, consuming him, and then he stands tall. This body is now mine. Nothing can hurt Parallax anymore. And boom, he gets hit in the back as Sinestro has arrived. You have something that belongs to me, Superman. Superman leaps up, grabbing Sinestro by the throat. I now control Superman, Sinestro, as you once so foolishly tried to control me. Fear will always seep through even the tiniest cracks of the wall of courage. They launch into the air and they begin to plummet back to the ground as Parallax is barreling down on top of Sinestro. Its grip like a vice of steel, making it impossible for Sinestro to breathe. Like the fear an infant suffers, pulled beneath a powerful tide, unable to catch its breath no matter how fierce the struggle. You taught me this, what it's like to feel small. I no longer see your arrogance, only terror. They hit the ground with a crack-a-boom! In the crater, Superman tells Sinestro, enjoy your final breaths. And with the last of his energy, whash! He hits Superman. Superman looks around and he realizes that he was just teleported to Quard. The weaponers of Quard are also looking at him. They all point their weapons at him, and as he breathes fire onto all of them, he shouts, I will not be your slave again! They hit him with everything, putting him to his knees, and Sinestro walks over. Welcome back to Quard, Parallax. As the Earthers say, there's no place like home. And with that, Sinestro puts him down. Deep inside the core of Quard, Sinestro has Superman bound up, looking for Parallax. He knows Parallax is deep inside of the Man of Steel. Superman tries to argue that Parallax is gone, but Sinestro knows the truth. He will exorcise Parallax out of him. He will take his power. He then blasts Superman with his greatest fears, the loss of everyone, not being able to be there for his son and family, turning into Doomsday again. It's all his fear. He deals with the cries of those that he could not save ringing in his head, and his fears are made reality. Help us, please, save us, Superman! And as he calls out, stop, please, Sinestro instead pulls out a whip and begins to crack it, trying to force Parallax out. I will fillet him from your soul then, Superman. That's when Lissa stops him. She grabs his arm and she tells Sinestro, he is afraid of you. So offer the one thing that he can't resist. Remove your ring and offer yourself, Sinestro. In the book, it is written that it has to be this way. Sinestro holds his arms out in surprise, and then he traps her in a yellow bubble of fear. I'm disappointed that Parallax took you over so easily, Lissa. He then struck from behind by one of the weaponers. Running will not save you, Parallax. I am a part of every living insect. You cannot stop me. You will not contain me again. He blasts the weaponer with his ring, and then Parallax leaps from body to body, trying to avoid Sinestro until he flees to the planet's surface, where Sinestro chases after him. Lissa asks what of Superman, and Sinestro tells her, he's like Jordan. His power will fade and die, and he will die here frozen and alone. His death will be of no loss. Let's go. They leave Superman there, bound up to die eventually, but once he's alone, Superman says to himself, that's one point of view. Let's see what you're made of, Sinestro. Your will against mine. He begins to burn through the construct, and hours later, the battle between Sinestro and Parallax burns on, with a weakened Sinestro beginning to falter. Superman swoops in, grabbing him. You're still weakened from your fight with Hal. You can't win this, and you've given me a means to end this. And with that, he takes off Sinestro's ring. He then turns to Parallax. I'm still not afraid of you. Do your worst. And Parallax swallows Superman up. Inside of his belly, though, Superman digs out the yellow ring and he puts it on. There's so much terror in our hearts, but there's also joy, love, and hope. A single shred of hope can hold all of the fear in the universe at bay, and mine gives me the will to capture you. I know that you're scared, but you'll be safe in this ring, Parallax. I promise that I will not let Sinestro capture you again. Parallax is absorbed into the ring, and Sinestro, weakened and injured, begins to question what just happened with Alyssa at his side. Sinestro then sees Superman with the ring, and he demands that he return it, and Superman's eyes glow red. I'd like to see you take it. In response, Sinestro vanishes with a vip, teleporting away. Superman turns to the weaponers, telling them, "Teleport me home. You're free now, no longer required to do what Sinestro demands." He appears back at his home, and he peeks in on John to make sure that he's there safe and sound when Lois walks behind him, leaning on his shoulder. And there you have it. Superman has the willpower to fight against Sinestro, to fight against Parallax, to save the day once again. I really don't know why he's never received a Green Lantern ring, other than it would just make him way too overpowered. But what do you think of a Superman with a Green Lantern ring? And if you could pick any ring, which ring do you think that Superman deserves to have? Not the Injustice yellow ring thing. Which one do you think he truly deserves? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to this channel to keep up to date on DC Rebirth. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian if you want to talk about your favorite comic books. All right, over here, you're going to find the Superman playlist. Over here is going to be something by YouTube, right about there. And you can always subscribe with the little face in the corner. Thank you guys, and have a good night.